Welcome to the Be Kind podcast with your co-hosts Seth and Ra. Presented by the Animal Advocates of South Central Pennsylvania.
Welcome back to the latest episode of the Be Kind podcast, brought to you by the Animal Advocates of South Central Pennsylvania. My name is Seth.
I'm Ra.
And this is the Be Kind podcast, York Fair edition. How you doing, Ra?
I am well. How are you?
You know, I'm pretty good. I am pretty good. Let's get right into it. Let's not dilly-dally.
Okay.
There's an event every year in York called the
York Fair?
And it is a fair.
The oldest.
The oldest in something. What are your thoughts about the York Fair, Rob?
They changed the date. Awful decision.
This is a big deal in York
It
and
is.
Pennsylvania. People are not happy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure why. Why is it? Why are people not happy?
Because July is hot and it sucks.
Well, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot going on with the York Fair,
Mm-hmm.
especially, well, I mean, to everybody from a lot of different points of view. But in the world of veganism and animal rights, we could talk all day.
We could.
But we're only going to talk for 10 minutes.
Ish.
Because that's what our sound guys say we have to do.
Mm-hmm.
We go too long. That's what Orkin Bjorkin and Georgie tell us.
Mm-hmm.
So
Time constraints. I don't think we're good with that.
what's that? Well, I don't work well within constraints.
No. Mm-mm.
I don't. So the first thing I want to talk about, and then we'll talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Sure.
But I go first. That's how it works. Last year, I made some snickerdoodles, vegan, of course,
Of course.
and I entered them into the York Fair
Mm-hmm.
in the snickerdoodle category.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, something in my
As one
there's
would.
something in my eyeball. Hold on. Don't cut this out, John. People love when I get stuff in my eye. We get mail about it all the time. I want to see that guy get stuff in his eye.
I'll put something in your eye.
I bet you will. So I entered these snickerdoodles in the snickerdoodle category. Now I'm going to be completely transparent here because it took me a while to learn how this works in the York Fair. And I think this is how it works in most state fairs. In any category that you enter things, they're going to judge first, second, and third. Okay?
Right. Yeah.
But they're only going to award those positions if they think something in the category is worthy of that place. So you could have, let's say, 7 pound cakes. But if they don't think any of those pound cakes are good enough for a second place, they might not award a second place ribbon. They'll only award a first and a third.
Oh.
Likewise, sometimes there's not even a first place awarded. All that being said, though, there usually is a first, second, and third awarded.
Okay.
Why is that important? Ask me.
Why is that important?
Raw, here's why that's important. Because in the snickerdoodle category the year that I entered it, there were only 3 entries. I'm going to be completely honest about that, okay?
Okay.
But that being said, they didn't have to award all 3 places. In fact, oftentimes you'll see categories with only 3 entries, and they don't give all 3 ribbons.
Right.
So the fact that I won 3rd place out of 3 entries is still nothing to sneeze at.
Right.
I earned the 3rd place.
For sure.
So I entered my vegan snickerdoodles.
Mm-hmm.
And I should have brought, I have my ribbon framed. It's a big deal to me.
Yeah. You should have brought it.
Yeah, I should have. I don't know. You know, I live this busy life. You know, I got yard work. I got these cats. All kinds of stuff happens with the cats. I drive all the time, Raw. I feel like I live in the car. But it's okay because I've been listening to these really good books on tape lately. No, they're not on tape.
I thought you were going to say this really good podcast called the Be Kind podcast.
No, I wouldn't listen to that junk.
Oh.
Anyway, what's going on? What happened?
So tell us about these cookies.
So they were delicious, but I had to make them like 20 times because I'm not a baker.
Right.
Like this is something I just decided to do. I don't know anything about baking.
Well, I mean, that's a normal part of recipe testing is you make it over and over.
I mean,
and
it
over.
was a lot of times, Raw. Like literally 20.
Well, I mean, I don't think anybody complained about taste testing.
You're right. Okay, so here's the deal. I enter the snickerdoodles. Kind of surprisingly, nobody asks you for your ingredients when you enter
That
something.
is kind of surprising.
Yeah. So I entered it. Nobody knew the ingredients. I win 3rd prize. I make a big deal out of it on social media. I didn't make a big enough deal out of it, though, because what I had done, in my mind, I infiltrated. I infiltrated that fair. And that fair, we're going to talk a little bit about this quickly, in under 10 minutes.
Okay.
That fair is full of animal products, animal exploitation. It's the Pennsylvania State Fair, and Pennsylvania is all about animal agriculture, that sort of thing. And I won third prize with a vegan cookie.
So you didn't label them vegan snickerdoodles.
Nobody knew they were vegan.
Nice.
And I should have made a bigger deal out of it. I should have made let's do a podcast. Let me post as the animal advocates or something like that. But I just kind of was like, hey, look what I did, everybody. So I'm going to try it again this year. I'm not saying what I'm entering because those people are listening.
I'm sure they are. I'm sure they listen for things like this.
But I'm going to do it again. And I think it's really important, actually. Not that I'm doing something important, but that as a movement, we start to do that sort of thing, is show up in animal food.
Mainstream.
Mainstream places. Instead of sectioning ourselves off, sectioning ourselves off is great too. I love a good veg fest, that sort of thing.
Right.
But, we're not ever going to change the world by staying separate. Let's get in there. Let's show them, look, eat this cookie, eat this burger, or watch this movie that uses CGI instead of a real animal. All these different things.
I love movies with real dinosaurs.
You gonna tell her? Anyway, so that's my spiel about the cookies. Okay. What are our other thoughts on the York Fair?
Well, we can talk about the animal exploitation. We can talk about why I don't go to the York Fair anymore.
Well, let's do that. Why don't you go to the York Fair anymore?
Well, I went for the food, and there's no vegan food, so now I don't go because I don't want to die on the rides.
All right, this has been the latest episode of the Thank you. I mean, every year they have one or two blatant animal exploitation exhibits.
Well, right. Well, they have some things like they usually have the rides. So it's an elephant or a camel or something like that, and that's the saddest animal you've ever seen. It's broken. It doesn't want to do. It's obviously not treated well. Like you can see it being abused while you're waiting in line.
Absolutely.
They also have whatever animal on display that they have, so like whether it's sharks or tigers where you can like get your picture like you can hold a baby tiger or something like, so they have that. And then they have usually some kind of petting zoo, which I don't know if you've seen how small children handle anything. Low supervision with small baby animals. It's great. It's great. It's a good time.
It's always very sad and unnecessary.
And then you have your regular animals just shoved in tight compartments. Now it's in July, which is extremely hot, and the animals are just left out in these conditions. And then you have some that are like housed together. So like if you walk through the chicken house, I don't know, the avian house, whatever it is, where they have all the birds, they're like stacked crates on top of crates on top of crates, and it's very, very sad, depending on if you go in the beginning of the fair or if you go towards the end of the fair, because how many days does it run now?
10.
Yeah. Are you singing the song in your head?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now.
You don't. It used to be 9 days and now it's 10 days, and then there's a whole song about it.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Does anybody else know this song? Are you serious? It's a real thing. I'm going to look it up. Okay. We're going to look it up. I'm going to send it to you.
All right. Let me hit you with this. And this is going to be controversial. I'm not suggesting that you should just do whatever you want. And in fact,
I'm suggesting you should do whatever you want.
Okay. You should do whatever you want. But there are shades to all these things. I think it's important that we think critically at the very least. Should you not go to the York Fair because there's animal exploitation? Probably. You probably should not go.
Sure.
But think about this. Just think about it. And this might get me kicked off the podcast because this is so anti, the main conversation.
Kick you if my leg was out.
Okay, so there's blatant animal exploitation happening with living animals. Take them out of the equation. Pretend that's not there. What do you still have there?
Sucky rides and non-vegan food.
It's like 90%. It's 90%
and dirty bathrooms.
Animal food. It's 90% animal food. All I'm saying is the living animal exploitation doesn't actually move the needle that much on the event. It's the food which is everywhere we go in the world, represents much more suffering than the live animal exploitation. If you go to Jubilee Day, which you don't have to pay to get into, so that is a significant difference. But if you go to Jubilee Day, the 80% of it represents massive animal suffering. But many of us go there anyway.
Do you think it's as low as 80%?
Well, there's a lot that's not food at Jubilee Day.
Okay.
The
You're equating the non-food.
I'm equating the entire event.
I see.
No, the food is like 98%. Animal suffering.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is these issues are not as cut and dry and as black and white as we like to think. I mean,
right.
Well, I go to Giant and buy tofu, but the tofu's sitting right next to beef. The point is just in general that any grocery store sells,
right?
Vast majority. So I don't love, donkeys riding ponies or whatever's happening at the York Fair. Okay, that was, they have like monkeys riding dogs or something like that. That's a real thing.
They do.
Yeah.
Oh, the pig races too.
Yes.
How could I forget that?
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if you grew up going to the York Fair and it is greatly nostalgic or important to you, I'm not saying that I sign off on the animal exploitation, but that there are shades and levels and nuance to these things. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I mean, honestly, if the food vendors there would suddenly all offer vegan options and I could go to a multiple array of places and still get a decent eating experience, I would maybe consider the price of admission to eat. Maybe.
I'm just arguing for the acknowledgement of nuance in this and in all we do.
Well, you'll have that with everything.
That's true. All right, everybody. So this has been the most recent and definitely the most recent episode of the Be Kind podcast. So
the York Fair is great.
If you infiltrate.
Thank you for listening to the Be Kind podcast, presented by the Animal Advocates of South Central Pennsylvania.